The church was too grand for a wedding without love. Stained glass windows painted colors across Amara Lawson's skin as she stood at the altar, hands shaking, her heart thudding like a trapped bird. She wore a white dress she didn't choose, a veil she didn't want, and a ring that felt more like a brand than a promise. Across from her stood the man she had been forced to marry. Lysander Vance. The billionaire no one dared to defy. The man with ice for a heart. The man who destroyed her father's company in a single day, then demanded Amara marry him in exchange for revealing the truth behind her father's sudden disappearance. She hated him. But she needed him. And he knew it. Lysander stood like a sculpture, tall, chiseled, unmoving. His eyes, cold gray as storm clouds, barely touched hers. His black suit was immaculate, his jaw tight, his presence suffocating and magnetic all at once. "Do you take this woman?" the officiant began. Lysander's voice cut in, calm and emotionless. "I do." Two words that sealed her fate. When the officiant turned to her, Amara's throat tightened. She had promised herself she would be strong. She would survive this. She would find out what happened to her father, even if it meant becoming the wife of the man who ruined her life. Her voice trembled. "I do." Lysander didn't look pleased or satisfied. He looked unreadable. Almost troubled. Almost. A marriage built on secrets. The mansion was silent when they arrived, too silent for something so massive. Crystal chandeliers glimmered overhead, and polished marble reflected their steps like ghosts trailing behind them. "This is your home now," Lysander said without emotion. "It's not my home," she whispered. His eyes flickered. "It will be." Amara clenched her jaw. "I only married you for the truth. Don't expect me to play the role of your wife." He didn't flinch. "I never asked you to love me." Good. She never would. Lysander turned and walked up the sweeping staircase without another word. Amara watched him go, his shoulders rigid, his posture tight, as if he were fighting something inside himself. For the first time, she wondered if he was as cold as everyone said, or if he was simply frozen. The distance between them. Days passed in icy silence. Lysander left early, arriving home late. He barely spoke. Barely looked at her. Amara found herself wandering lonely hallways, eating meals alone, sleeping in a bedroom across from a man she was legally bound to but emotionally oceans apart from. Every time she asked about her father, about the truth, Lysander shut down. "It's not time yet," he'd say, voice flat. "Not time. Not now. Not yet." She hated how he controlled every answer. She hated how she needed them. She hated how he looked at her sometimes, quickly, sharply, then looked away as if he couldn't afford to feel anything. She hated him. Didn't she? The cracks in his armor. It started with a storm. Thunder boomed, windows rattled, and the mansion's power flickered. Amara sat curled on the couch, hugging herself as memories of childhood storms rushed back, her father tucking her close, humming softly. Her chest hurt. A shadow moved in the doorway. Lysander. He watched her for a moment, expression unreadable, before stepping closer. "You're shaking," he said quietly. "It's just the storm," she whispered. "You're afraid." "I'm not." The thunder cracked again. She flinched. Lysander's face softened, barely, but enough. He sat beside her, slowly, as if afraid she'd bolt. "You don't have to be afraid in this house," he murmured. She swallowed. "I'm not afraid of the storm." His eyes met hers. "I know." Their breaths tangled in the space between them, and suddenly Amara was aware of how close he was, how warm. For a man who had become her enemy, the proximity felt dangerously soothing. "Why do you care?" she whispered. Lysander looked away, jaw tightening. "I don't." But his hands, the same hands that built empires and destroyed them, closed gently around hers. "You're lying," she said. For the first time, Lysander didn't deny it. The night his walls broke. A week later, Amara woke to shouting downstairs. She rushed down to find Lysander gripping a man by his collar, rage vibrating off him like heat. "What did you tell her?" Lysander roared. The man, clearly one of his employees, stuttered. I only said her father." "Get out," Lysander snarled. "Before I destroy you." The man fled. Amara stood frozen. "You know something," she whispered. "Something about my father." Lysander turned to her slowly, his face a storm of guilt and anger. "You weren't supposed to hear anything." "Tell me the truth," she demanded. He closed his eyes. "Amara, if I tell you, you'll hate me more than you already do." "That's not possible." His eyes snapped open, raw, unguarded, wounded. "You don't understand," he said, voice breaking. "Everything I've done, everything, it was to protect you." Her heart slammed. "Protect me? You ruined my father." "No," Lysander whispered. "I saved him." The world tilted. "What?" He exhaled shakily. "Your father discovered someone inside my company laundering money through offshore accounts. When they realized he knew, they targeted him, and by extension, targeted you." Amira's breath left her. "You're lying." "I'm not." His voice was quiet. "I staged the collapse of his company. I created the illusion of bankruptcy so the men pursuing him would back off. I hid him." Her knees buckled. Lysander caught her before she fell, his hands trembling. "Your father is alive," he whispered. "Safe. Under my protection." Tears blurred her vision. "You never told me." "Why?" Lysander cupped her face, gentle, reverent, desperate. "Because keeping you in the dark kept you alive. And because I..." He swallowed hard. "I knew you'd never marry me if you knew the truth." His voice frayed. "I needed you safe, Amara. Even if you hated me." Her heartbeat stumbled. "Why would you care that much?" Lysander's lips parted, like a confession was fighting its way out. "Because somewhere between saving your father and destroying my peace." His forehead touched hers. "I fell in love with you." Her breath caught. "You what?" He closed his eyes. "I love you." A shaky exhale. "I loved you before you knew my name. Loved you when you stormed into my office demanding answers. Loved you when you married me with fire in your eyes. And I love you now, even if you never love me back." Amira's world shattered, and rebuilt itself in the same heartbeat. This whole time. This cold, ruthless billionaire had been protecting her. Loving her silently. Breaking himself to keep her safe. She touched his cheek, voice trembling. "You should have told me. I was afraid you'd run." "I might have," she whispered honestly. "But I'm not running now." Lysander's eyes widened, hope flickering like dawn. "You're not." She shook her head, tears falling freely. "Because somewhere in this nightmare, I fell for you too." His breath hitched. Then Amara closed the distance between them and kissed him, soft, slow, full of the truth they had both fought. Lysander melted into her, every wall collapsing as if it had been waiting for her touch. The cold heart she feared had melted for her long before she knew. Prompts. 26-year-old beautiful black woman with natural curls and expressive warm brown eyes, strong yet vulnerable aura, graceful posture, wearing simple but classy clothes, determined expression, light makeup, soft lighting, cinematic mood. 32-year-old tall handsome billionaire with sharp features, icy gray eyes, jet black hair, expensive tailored suit, cold intimidating aura, dim dramatic lighting, luxury background, cinematic realism. 35-year-old charismatic businessman with golden brown eyes, deceptive charming smile, well-groomed beard, dark suit, mysterious villain aura, shadows and contrast, cinematic dramatic style.